Welcome back. We're back to the Windows 98 PC, and I want to try to create an audio CD with this machine. I haven't done that yet. I haven't actually tried to make an audio CD with this 20-year-old CD burner using software from 16 years ago. I haven't done this in a while. So right here I've got a couple of blank CDs, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop one of those into my drive. It should automatically launch Adaptec CD Creator. It's a version that dates back to the year 2000. It was hard for me to find this software because it seemed like every version that I was able to download, new or old, required either a serial number or a very specific CD-ROM drive or optical drive. So this one appears to be compatible with my drive. I did actually manage to burn a copy of this data backup CD from 2001. The original copy, which is in my hand, has started to rot away. CD rot is a big problem, and it resulted in a massive class action lawsuit. And I'm going to show you a more serious example of this. This is a commercially produced Steely Dan 2 Against Nature album. This is a great CD, by the way. Go ahead and go online. These are some great songs that they created in 1999. But anyway, this CD completely disintegrated. It took a few years, but I mean, it's just totally unplayable at this point. So before my original data backup CD completely disintegrated, I wanted to make a copy of it, and I figured, what the hell, I'll try it on this machine since my $1,700 MacBook Pro's optical drive no longer works. See what happens here. And you know what? It worked. And I'm impressed. So now we're going to try an audio CD. Now, one of the things I want to mention is, you know, nowadays we have excellent software. We have tremendously, I'm using Trump terms now. It's amazing. It's the best. It's the greatest. Next question. No. The software we have now is so much more intuitive and so much more reliable than they had back in the year 2000. But one of the things that we seem to struggle with these days is the quality of hardware. You know, we have the fastest CD-ROM drives and CDRW drives in existence, but it doesn't help because they break down so frequently. Well, back in the day, you know, the stuff was much slower, but it was very reliable and long-lasting. But some of the problems we're going to face here, I think, will be software related. If it fails, I'm going to blame the software, not the hardware. So we're using Easy CD Creator 4. I'm going to open up the interface, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it. And I'm going to pull MP3 files from a collection of MP3s that I actually created and downloaded way back in 2000. So these are some files that I've had for a long time. So I've got them stored in my documents folder. MP3, here they are. And I'm going to turn the sound on. I'm going to burn just a few tracks. Acoustic and live. This is Incubus and 311. This was a popular song when I was in high school. Okay, so we're going to put that in our little music CD. Let's see. This is a song, one of my favorite Steely Dan songs. It's called Gaucho. It's the title song to the album Gaucho. See what else can we throw there. Castles Made of Sand, Jimi Hendrix. It's a classic. Let's put that in our test CD. There we go. When I was let's see, Long Hot Summer Nights. There's a good one too. When I was in high school, and even today, I had a very varied musical palette. I grew up in a fairly focus. There you go. And it's slightly better. Come on. When I was in high school, one of the most popular bands was actually the Grateful Dead, but I didn't really get into them until I was in like 12th grade. The town that I lived in was filled with hippies, and it's really what it was. Calling it like it is. Alright, put another Hendrix track in there. Let's see. Mortal Kombat. For those of you who don't know. Anyway, we'll put that in there, why not? Let's see. Robert Plant. Yeah, I had a very varied taste in music, and I still do. I mean, a lot of times I'm listening to old jazz fusion records and stuff, or albums. Rush. I was a big Rush fan too. Put that in there. Alright. And then what we're going to do... Oh, this one is... See, one of the things I found is some of my MP3 files it doesn't like. They play just fine in Winamp. But this software doesn't like them. And this one's about to error out on me. Guaranteed. So, yeah, there it goes. It's doing it. It's trying to read it, but it's like, no, you know, this isn't working for me. So, but I just want to see if this drive is still capable of actually doing this kind of work. You know, it is a 20-year-old drive, and we're using 16-year-old software on a 20-year-old system. So it'll be interesting to see how well this functions. Yeah, errored out. So that's good enough. We're just gonna leave. Let's just put that on there. What else do I have? Maybe I can add a few more things. Rose Darling. That's a good song. I think it's from the Katie Lied album. Yes. Rose Darling. Yeah, it's a good one. I'll put that on there. And Stone Temple Pilots, Down. That's a good one. I like that one. That's a good one. Okay, here we go. Great CD. I'm going to burn it at 4x, which is the maximum speed this drive can handle. One of the problems that you're going to find when working with older CD authoring tools, especially Adaptec, which is why I switched to NTI later on, you're going to wind up with buffer underruns. It's a big problem with this old software. A buffer underrun is when the system can't keep up with the drive, and it doesn't is what happens is it's burning the disk, but then all of a sudden it runs out of data because it cannot extract and convert and emulsify and mix and whatnot that data fast enough, even for the slowest of slowest drives. When I started, well, when I got my first CD burner, it was actually on an old Compaq Pentium 133. It was even slower than this. And, oh, it was a dog. It was an absolute dog. But I was running, I think, Windows 98 and an older version of Adaptec, which is basically what we're using here. And, yeah, I could not... I burnt coaster after coaster after coaster. A coaster is when you burn a CD and it's useless. Because for whatever reason the system choked during the process, or the drive malfunctioned, and now the disk is unusable. So we're going to just let it do its thing. When you're burning a CD on a vintage system like this, you don't want to be doing anything in the background. You don't want to be reading email. You don't want to be surfing the web, because you're going to wind up with a buffer underrun guaranteed. So we're going to let it just sort of do its thing. So one thing I want to mention is it lays down each track one after the other. So you'll actually hear the drive kind of spin down but in between tracks. So that's what it's actually doing. We're now on track number 3. No, we're on number 4 now, out of 9 tracks, and it's moving along quite nicely. Prior to the saturation of iPods and cellular phones or smartphones, most people who had desktop computers or laptops at the time, back in 2000-ish, 2005, between there, it was not an uncommon practice to burn your own mix CDs, and this is like CD burning had its golden age, between the years 2000 and about 2007 or so, 2008 maybe. That was like the golden age of, oh shit, I almost stopped it. That was the golden age of home CD authoring. And while people still do it on occasion, it's not as much as they used to. I remember when I worked for Walmart in 2002 to 2003, there was an entire aisle of just blank CD and DVD media. I mean, one entire gondola of just optical media. And it was like insanity, the amount of choice you had in optical media. Different colors, different styles, different case options. You could buy it by the spindle, or you could buy them by the pack, with jewel cases, both half and full size. I mean, the choices were it was just crazy. And the other thing is, the manufacturers employed the same snake oil technique that companies who make injector cleaner for cars use, where they would sell DVDs for just movies, and then they would have them for just data, and then CDs for just music, and they were exactly the same product, all basically the same damn thing, but with different stuff silk screened on the come on, focus, piece of shit. Just different logos and different designs silk screened onto the surface of the CD. I used to buy Memorex a lot because they had a very a much thicker coating on the disc. One time there was a local company that makes paper, Nashua paper. They were trying to get into the blank CD media craze, and they started selling spindles of CDRs that were uncoated. We're talking just the bare aluminum oxide layer with no varnish, or no varnish, no label, nothing. And naturally, that's what I bought because they were cheap. But they didn't last very long. They started to oxidize almost immediately after you unpack them. I mean, within a year, they would start to look like this. Where's that CD? They would start to look like Swiss cheese. I don't have any left. None of them survived. Not one survived. They all went to hell. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that too, But yeah, these older drives were just slow and reliable. I mean, they always work. They're just slow and reliable. Pretty predictable performance. But anyway. Still going, almost done. We're track 6? We're on track 7. We're on track 7 now. 2 more tracks, and we're good to go. Anyway, focus. What does this do? I don't even know what that does. Is that this camera sucks, I'm telling you. Don't buy this camera. It's terrible. It just doesn't... Come on. I'm trying to get it in manual focus and it's not letting me. Oh, now it's in macro mode. Come on. That's better. It's going to get out of focus though. I promise you it will. We're on track 8 now. We're getting there. Yeah, like I said, it was, you know, burning CDs back in the old day, it was almost like a voodoo art. I mean, it really was. I mean, you just kind of hoped that the planets were aligned right and everything would go smoothly. And it wasn't really the hardware, it was really the software, and it was you know, underpowered systems, you know. If you had like Pentium 2 or better, you were good to go. But if you had an old Pentium, you know, 133 or in this case a 233, it was a voodoo art form. It really was. I mean, you had to have like voodoo dolls with CDs. You know, I don't know. Okay, we're getting there. Almost done. But anyway, yeah, so I gotta put a new optical drive in my MacBook Pro because it's acting up, and there are a lot of CDs that it will not read anymore, and that's when, you know, the laser diodes are going in them. And unfortunately, the HGST, or Hitachi Global Storage Technologies, and HL, there's another one, HL, that Apple uses. They're just, even the Pioneers that they used to use were terrible. I don't think Apple has had a good optical drive in years. They just, I don't know if it's the lowest bidder syndrome or what, but they are so terrible. And the disk is successfully created. It worked. So, now we're going to go ahead and pop it in our iMac over here and see if it reads it. Interestingly enough, this iMac, which is from the year 2007, is with this, oh, there we go. This iMac somehow has a functioning optical drive. I'm not sure how that is. But anyway, let's pop it in there and see what happens. Well, we have another one in there. Take this out. Okay, here we go. Crunch, crunch. I hear stuff, and it doesn't like it. It doesn't like it. Okay, let's try a CD player. You all remember the mouse-infested boombox? Well, here it is. This is the one that I completely disassembled and cleaned. Let's see if it likes it. It doesn't sound good. I don't think it likes it. Well, ain't that a bitch? Are we surprised? Not really. Like I said, it's like a voodoo art form. You know what? I have to disclose this. I have successfully burned audio CDs in that drive. This just isn't one of them. It's going crazy. It's like, no, this isn't happening. Don't do this to me. Yeah, it's not happening. That's 2 drives that it's failed to work in. And it's still trying. It's going to keep trying. There's no, like, oh, there's a huge thumbprint. Let's try to clean it off a little bit. Let's try that. Still churning away. Still saying, screw you. Oh well. So I don't know what point I've proven, other than technology sucks. Oh wait, oh, did it, is it doing it? It's making different sounds. Oh, it must be like towards the middle now. It's just slowing down. Oh, come on. It wants to. It wants to say yes. Alright. Let's try one more. Alright. Okay. This is my TAC CD player. This is old, but it works. Okay. Alright. Here's the eject button. Okay. Here we go. If any CD player will work, it'll be this one. No disc. No dice. Alright. Thanks for playing. Okay. Guess what we just made?